Thank you, sir. Ms. Halvorson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here. I, too, want to reiterate that if you are doing anything with regards to state veteran homes somewhere else, I would like to know about it. I have two of them, Manteno and LaSalle, both in Illinois, in my district, that I, too, want to make sure and keep up on and do something about. I also want to thank you for working out a date with my staff, and I know we continue to do that so that you can come to the district, which you have agreed to do sometime in March, so that you can see firsthand the issues of the veterans that are going on and the things. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Silver Cross Hospital in Joliet. And if I could get an update, I would love to hear from Dr. Cross or somebody with regards to what's going on with the medical facility in my district.
Dr. Cross.
Congresswoman, thank you for your support and for working with us on this very important issue in Illinois. We have a CBOC there, and it's about 100 miles, as I understand, from Hines VA. That's quite a distance, and we think that that CBOC needs to be expanded. We're very interested in the proposal that I think you have been very instrumental in regard to a possible option in regard to Silver Cross Hospital, or a portion of it. And what we're doing is our engineers at Hines VA have already been out and taken a look. The construction staff at the headquarters VA here in Washington is momentarily getting ready to send this month further assessment team out to look at it again. But I wanted to assure you, Congresswoman, that we are interested. We think that this is a possible option for us. No decision has been made, final decision has been made yet, but we're moving forward.
Thank you.
Would the gentlelady yield for 1 second?
Absolutely, Mr.
I have been to that facility, and Mr. Secretary, there are several buildings around the country. This one is one. This happens to be one in San Diego, but I'm sure there's others that may have outlived their usefulness for a given purpose, but can fit in very nicely with your announced and wonderful policy of zero homelessness in 5 years. And it seems to me that those buildings, a hospital building, viewed as a shelter for those who are now homeless, not only has medical facilities, has private rooms, has space for all kinds of other social service support. It would seem to be a very cost-effective way, and they're generally in places that we don't have the NIMBY reaction to that. So I would see this not just as a isolated use of a surplus building, but as a method to really get at, because you know, Mr. Secretary, how tough it is to build a facility even for 30 homeless, and to get the local permits and to get the zoning and all that stuff. Seems to me we have some perfect places that could really help the plan that you have announced. So I hope it would be seen in a very wide context and not just, a surplus building, whether we need it or not. And I thank Ms. Halvorson for taking the leadership on that.
Thank you, Mr.
I yield back.
Thank you. And I do appreciate the time that you've taken, and it's very, very important to our district because of the traffic and the amount of veterans that are in the area right there where that would serve. So, I appreciate your diligence so that I don't have to keep making it, a top priority for you also.
Well, we're happy to follow up, Congresswoman. And I would, in response to your comment and the chairman's also, we are taking a strategic look at all of our facilities. We have 5,300 facilities in the system, and also looking at what's available to right size our footprint as we look 10 years in the future, where we think veterans are going to be, long-term care, homelessness. How do we accommodate all of this? So we're happy to take a look at a facility like this.
And the only other thing I'd like to add on that is just to hope that you don't get bogged down in bureaucracy. That is something that sometimes happens with these sort of things, that we just move quickly. The only other thing that I would like to touch on is, since 2007, the VA has increased its workforce by, I think, about 7,000 people in order to address our most favorite subject, the backlogs. However, the backlogs have continued to grow, and I know that in this budget you've asked for 4,000 more employees. What I heard yesterday is, even though we're asking and we hire more employees, it takes 2 years to train them. what is happening and what do we hope is going to come from continuing to hire more employees, taking time to train them, what's happening with regards to the backlog that doesn't seem to be getting under control. This is the thing that people call my office for over and over again, and it's very, very frustrating, I think, for all of us.
Thank you. The backlog is something a year ago when I arrived, I said, I'm going to go after, and we spent effort on it last year, not as much as I would have liked. A GI Bill came along, I needed to get that put in place, and I would say we succeeded in the fall semester. We started with 0 students in August, and we had 173,000 registered and being paid by December. So it was an effort that required that kind of attention. In the meantime, the attention that I wanted to devote to the disability claims process was deferred. And this year is my year to spend time getting inside of all of our processes. It's a convoluted, complex process. What we've done with the claims process is we've pulled it apart, created 4 pilots. The pilots are running now, 1 in Pittsburgh, 1 in Little Rock, 1 in Providence, and 1 in Baltimore. And the whole purpose here is to take apart the pieces, let's see what we can do to refine them, and then put them back in a way that gets us momentum in the claims handling. Right now, the inventory on claims is about 420,000. Of that, my guess, day to day, we run about 150 to 170,000 claims in backlog, and that's a claim that is any claim that's longer than 125 days. The last several years, we've taken the processing time on claims from about 190 days down to 180 and 178. Right now, we're at 161 days, moving towards 125 days. So there has been progress. I reported earlier that last year we processed 974,000 claims, which is a 8 or 9% increase over our previous performance. At the same time, we got in 1 million new claims. So this is an area we're going to have to spend a good bit of effort on. I compound the problem when we make a decision on Agent Orange. It is the right decision. It was long overdue, needed to be done, but it adds to this challenge. So as these 4 pilots are working to take the processing time of 161 days and moving it in the right direction, we have an Agent Orange decision here later this year that's going to come to play, and it could increase processing time. It'll certainly increase the inventory. We are looking at ways to fast track the Agent Orange decisions so we don't compound the problem here. What we're looking for out of the Agent Orange is proof of presence in Vietnam. Meet the rules. It doesn't matter whether it was 1 day or 360 days. All we need to know is validate presence, validate the disease. Competent medical authority does that, and then adjudicate the extent to which the disease warrants a disability rating. And we think getting to that kind of focused decision making, we can take these Agent Orange decisions and move them quickly. At the same time, working on the normal disability claims process. My estimate is over the next year to 2 years, the inventory will grow. Processing time may get longer, probably will get longer, but by 2013 we'll be back to where we are today at about 161 days. At that point, with the learning that comes out of the pilots already in the program, and within a couple of years, we expect to have eliminated the backlog. Although our incremental budgets talk about reducing each year, reducing the backlog, the plan is by 2015 to that backlog to be 0. That's what we're targeted on.
Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you, Ms. Halvorson. Mr. Rodriguez.